Hi guys, and welcome to the Baby Sleep Magic podcast. My name is Chantel Murphy, and today's episode is actually going to be a little bit different. I'm actually going to share with you one of my stories on what I experienced when Noah, my first son, was born, and what took me to breaking point, and what got me where I am today, and why, and kind of where it changed and what snapped really. So basically, he was, as if you've watched or heard any of my previous podcasts about Noah, he was a really difficult baby. He cried non-stop. He never slept for the first few months, and he was just really difficult. So it got to, 3.5, 4 months in, and I just obviously wasn't coping. He was waking up through the night every 45 minutes and wouldn't sleep through the day. So I was certainly at my breaking point. And like I said in my previous videos and all my information, I tried everything. Well, I thought I did. I Googled, I called hotlines, I called naturopaths and doctors, and I thought I tried everything and nothing was working. So at this point now, I just thought, oh, well, I'll just have to deal with this. And, it's not going to be long now until he's over naps. By the time he's 1 or 1.5, he won't need a nap. So I'll just suck it up. Well, every day just got harder and harder. And it wasn't until he was around 4.5 months and I was meant to meet a girlfriend at the shopping centre. She had her new baby. I had my new baby. We were meant to meet for the very first time with our new babies. And we were meant to meet at like 11 o'clock. And it got to 9 a.m. and Noah was up since 5 a.m. at 4 months old, and he still hadn't gone to sleep. And I was trying everything. I tried feeding, rocking. I had an exercise ball. I was bouncing, and he just still wouldn't sleep. He was screaming and screaming and screaming. I knew at this point that meeting my girlfriend Tamara was going to be near on impossible with a crying, screaming child who was just, inconsolable. He just wouldn't stop. So at this point, I called hubby and I rang him, and I was hysterical. I was just sobbing over the phone. I just couldn't even speak. And he was going, "What's wrong? Fill me in, what's happened?" And I was telling him, I meant to meet Tamara, and I'm meant to meet her at the shops at 11 o'clock, but Noah won't sleep, and now I can't go. And, I was just so distressed. And he was on the other end of the phone, and he said, "Get in the car, take Noah and go for a drive." And I said to him, "I am going to drive off a cliff." So then I hung up. So he then obviously got quite scared and worried. He went and seen his boss and said, "Look, I've just got to go. My wife's not coping. She's at home with a baby that's just not sleeping. I've got to go." So he then came home and took Noah from me, put him to sleep, and I then went out and met my girlfriend at the shops, baby free, which that was my day where I decided from that point on I was going to change everything. So from then, that's when I started doing all the research I needed to do on infant sleep, finding out exactly what I needed to do. I went and did the course on infant sleep and became a qualified sleep consultant over time. And then from there, continued to do more research. So that's kind of what led me to this point now. But that was my absolute lowest moment and my breaking point when I basically said to hubby over the phone, I was going to drive off a cliff. So most mums, I'm sure, will probably be laughing right now and can probably be nodding their head and relating to it well and truly. So that's kind of what got me here. That's my story with Noah. I've got many more stories of my breaking point, but that was certainly one of my red flags and something I share with a lot of my clients because, all mums go to get to that point, and especially when I go to see a client, they are at breaking point. They are at the point where they are desperate. A lot of mums cry when I arrive, and especially when I put Bub to sleep when I'm there, they cry. They're just so relieved that there's help out there, and they understand that they're not the only ones, especially when I then tell my story, which is that one. They can relate, and they're just pleased to know that they're not the only ones out there that are going through that or experiencing that. So, 7 years later, it's totally different. It's completely different. And from what I experienced as a baby to what I'm experiencing now with children who are at school is completely different. Chalk and cheese. I'd never thought I would, I just never thought it would be the way it was. I was quite miserable and unhappy, to be honest, when they were really, really little. But now they're older and they're independent and they can communicate, and it's really enjoyable. Being a parent at this age where my boys are right now, 6 and 7, is really enjoyable. And I really enjoy the drop-offs at school and the pick-up and the school soccer that they do and the karate. It's amazing. It's just a different life again. So all those mamas out there going through what I went through when Noah was quite young, everything is fixable. There is help out there, and yeah, it's only a phone call away. So hopefully that gives you guys a bit of an overview and an understanding of what I went through and what my breaking point was. Yeah, and thanks again for listening, and I will touch base again soon.